why don't we put one together? A mirrorless camera with a wide-angle lens with the 120 dome port. This is what you need to set it up. You don't need any tools. You just need to have these components right here. First step I do is I pull the silicone case over top of the camera. Roll the silicone cover up. And the reason why I do this is just it kind of fits over the lens a lot easier when you can just roll it up and pull it over. You make sure you line it up. You can see from the way the cover is designed that it has ridges. And these ridges fit over the ridges of your camera. You can't go wrong. So, put it over the lens. My camera is now inside the Outex cover. So the next step I do is I'm going to roll back this front portion. I'll sit my camera up like this. I'm going to roll back this front portion here, expose my lens, and I'm going to attach the 120 dome port and the bracket I need to thread onto the front of my lens. Those are the two components I need to make the front of this sealed. This is an 82 millimeter thread on the front of it here, and that can thread onto the front of my lens. A variety of 82 millimeter threads, and you own, say, a 77 millimeter thread, you might want to just order the larger one and buy a step-down ring for it. You basically just take the port and there's threads. There's threads on the front here and there's threads on the inside. There are two threads that rotate in the opposite direction that you can pull right off, turn it, and you can take right off of the dome port, and it exposes some threads here on the front of the port. This is how you make system waterproof, basically, is you pull the cover over top of these threads here and put it on the lip, and then you drop this one holds down the cover, and this one snugs down and seals it so it makes it waterproof. I then pull the cover down so it sits nice on this little lip. Okay, so there's a ridge in this cover, a really thick ridge basically. And then when you pull it down, you want it to sit nice on this lip of the port, and the ridge of this case is super thick. So that's what it looks like sitting on the front. And so what you do, there's two threads, there's two thread rings basically. One has, I don't know if you can tell, one has a little lip, kind of an L shape. It goes this way and then it goes this way. This is what snugs down on top of the ridge of the Outex cover, like so. And then this is what seals it. Okay, so this goes over top, and then you turn it. I snug it down, take two fingers, snug it down, and then one thing that I highly recommend is when you get out to your location, if you've put this on in a hotel room or wherever you've attached your case, one thing I suggest is always check your seals. I mean, you should do that anyways. But sometimes when you go from a colder temperature to a warmer temperature outside, every once in a while, you need to snug it up. So that is one thing. Always check to see if you need to snug up the front of your threads and the back of your threads. All right. So right now I have the case on, cover, and your front port all sealed up. Well, the last thing you have to do is put your back port on. If this is the type of case you have, you just have to put your back port on. So I usually grab my cover again, just to protect the glass. This is the one I use for the mirrorless system. It's got like a tripod mount plate on the bottom. And basically you just put this into the tripod mount on the bottom of your camera, screw it in nice and tight. Again, it's got the same brackets, just like on the front port system. One bracket holds down while the other one snugs it on top and holds it in place. Front cover's on to protect it. I just take the cover, I pull it back, line up your tripod mount hole, and then just tighten it. I mean, that's it. So right on top, kind of line it up to where you want it. I'm gonna move it down just a little bit. To keep in mind, so when I'm shooting, I can still see through my viewfinder. On the Nikon, it will make the sensor go off and on. So your sensor will go off and on. So you can press the little button on the side of the Nikon camera and you can have it set to just the eyepiece or the screen. When I'm shooting my underwater photography, I am not looking through the viewfinder at all. I'm a lot of the time just have to blindly have the camera down super wide angle and just shoot up of my subject. So that is just one thing to keep in mind. Here we go. So the next step I'm going to do is now I'm going to pull the silicone case over top of the camera. And we're going to do exactly what we did with that front dome port. We're going to seal it. All right. So there you have it. The camera is now sealed. Anything from diving, swimming, and then to what I do is shooting split shots underwater. So now your camera is completely sealed. And here's the best part about this cover system is that you have access to all your dials and you can see through this cover system. So if you want to zoom that lens, you can just grab it, you can zoom out. If you want to see and look at the pictures you've taken, you can just click all your buttons and you can access your shutter speed, which is the button right here, your f-stop, which is the button in front. You can access everything you need to access, control your camera really well through this cover. Okay, I think that's it for this one.